Hi guys, I'm going to be doing a acrylic mermaid full set. Here I am just removing the gel from the nail bed. I've already taken the shine off and then I soaked off the nails with a cotton ball, acetone, and aluminum foil. So here I am soaking one hand and I've already removed the gel from this hand. And now I'm just gonna go in with a sanding bit and lightly remove any excess gel that may be stuck on the nail bed. And I'm just going to be going in with a cuticle pusher and just pushing the cuticle back gently, not too harshly. And now I'm going in with this bit that I love so much because if there's any excess like gel or product like in the corners of the cuticle, it gets in there nicely and it just removes whatever's in there. So you just want to go ahead and file the nails. She didn't really want her nails to be cut shorter than what they already were, so you just kind of go ahead and file the best that you can. I'm just trying to find the best camera angle as I'm still getting used to how to messing with, getting the right view above the nails, as this is my first video, so just bear with me guys. So now we're going to be sizing the nails with the nail tips. So always make sure that if you can't find the size of a nail tip for a nail bed, go with the bigger size because you can always just file the nail and you can make it to the size of the nail bed. But never go with the smaller size because the smaller size will eventually start lifting to its natural shape, causing the acrylic to lift. So just always make sure to go with the bigger size if you can't find an exact nail size tip. So once I've glued the nail tips, I go ahead and start cutting them to the client's desired length. You just cut once and then you just show them. She wanted them long and then she was just checking it out and then she decided to have them a little shorter. So you just kind of cut to the client's desired length. Always make sure to cut a little longer because it's better to go in and fix a long nail than it is to cut a shorter nail. I mean, to fix a nail that looks too short, obviously you would have to remove the tip and, start over again. So once you've cut the nails, you just want to go ahead and grab the other hand. Well, this is how I do it. Some people just eyeball it, but I just kind of measure the nails that I've already cut with the ones that I haven't, and I try and cut the same length. Sometimes it's a little hard trying to angle the clipper with the way their fingers are angled, but like the way you're holding them. So if you just can get an idea, it's good enough, and then you can go in after and cut a little more. So now I'm just making sure that my nail lengths are all the same. You want to make sure, as you can see there, I point out that you want to make sure that the cuticles are aligned straight so that when you cut the nails, they are the same length. Okay, so now I'm going to be using a drill bit to file a coffin shape on the nail tip, pre-filing before I actually start with the acrylic. And I'm just practicing here because when I was doing nails a while back, I was getting into trying to file the the nail prep. If it was like a coffin shape, file with a drill. So that's what I'm just doing here, just practicing with a drill. But you do what you're comfortable with. You can either shape it into coffin by using a file, a nail clipper, a nail nipper, or even the little tweezers, the little scissor tweezers that are really small. You can use those and cut the edges off and shape them into coffin, whatever you're comfortable with. But here I'm just practicing with the drill to shape the nail tip into a coffin shape. So now I'm just going to be filing the edges nicely, pulling back a little bit in the corners and trying to get that really thin, flawless shape, try not to get too file happy because this is just a nail prep. You just want to make sure you have that nice shape, nice base, so that when you apply that acrylic, you barely have any filing to do. That's what I like to do. I like to file, the coffin shape the best that I can before I apply acrylic, so that is easier for me once the acrylic has been applied, and so that I only have to focus more on the drilling than the filing. Okay, so now I'm going to just be blending the nail tip. You just take your file. You can either do this with a sanding bit, but I prefer to do it with a nail file. So you just blend in. I've already removed the shine from the nail bed, so I'm not gonna go in the nail bed anymore, but just in the part where the tip glues to the nail bed, I'm gonna be blending that area out, and that just helps the acrylic adhere more. It just makes it easier for the acrylic to hold on. So now I'm just going to be applying the bonder on all 10 nails. And again, guys, this is just to dehydrate the nail from any shine that may be left over after you have buffed out the nails. Just to make sure no oil pops out under the acrylic and starts pushing the acrylic up. Because as you guys know, the oil does lift nails, acrylic nails. Now I'm going in with primer. Okay, guys, so this is where the F up happens because I start realizing as I'm burping the brush, I start realizing and picking up the bead that this brush is effed up, and I knew that, I just did not remember that. So as you can see, everything is clumping up. The beads, the way the brush is picking up the beads, look at that. You could even tell the freaking brush looks like a broomstick. And so this is when I said I effed up. I spent all this time removing the gel, the gel from the nails, prepping the nails, and I can't even do an acrylic full set. And then I just said, you know what? Let me just breathe and let me see what I can do. So this is me struggling with this brush, basically. And somehow, I don't know how it happened, but it somehow comes somewhat together in the end. But let me tell you, some of these things look like mountains. Okay guys, so what I'm doing here is I'm applying a very thin layer of acrylic. As you can see, the nails look very thin from the side, and that is because we're going to be encapsulating glitter, of course. As you can see from the picture, these are mermaid glitter nails, so we just want to go ahead and do a very thin layer. It doesn't have to be very thin, but it's best if it's very, very, very thin, because when you encapsulate, you don't want a bulky nail, because then the acrylic is just gonna look too thick from the side. By the way, all that I'm doing here is I am just grabbing tiny, tiny, tiny beads of clear acrylic and dipping it into whatever glitter I'm using for that nail, and just lightly feathering it, but quickly feathering it at the same time, nice and evenly on the nail until I get the look that I'm looking for. Because I was just kind of freehanding the mermaid nails. She really didn't have a desired, she was just volunteering as a nail model for mermaid nails. As you can see, the brush is literally holding on to its dear life. The brush is just sticking up at every corner. Pieces are sticking up at every corner. So we're just doing the best that we can, guys. And by the way, guys, all of these glitter combos that I'm using, I made up myself. I just mixed up whatever glitters and kind of like foils or little flakes that I wanted to throw in the glitter mix. I would just mix in, and then I just put them in little containers and I use them for glitter encapsulations. Okay, so now I am going to be trying to do a French ombre on the middle finger, but as you can see, this brush is just terrible. Like, there was no way to do a very evenly smooth application on the nail without it clumping up for a ombre effect. So I just eventually give up and just try to apply regular amounts of acrylic and just call it a day. It still kind of had somewhat of the nude and white effect, but it was definitely not an ombre nail. Okay, so now I am just going to be encapsulating the nail and trying to do the best that I can, because this encapsulation was all over the place, because the brush would not just beautifully place the bead, it would like kind of spread everywhere. Whatever angle or direction like pieces of the brush are facing, that's the way the bead would fall on the nail. So it was just a battle. Guys, again, that monomer is literally holding on for its dear life to not evaporate the little that I have. I'm just trying to hold on to that little piece of little iridescent flake paper that is trying to stick out and it's not letting the acrylic adhere correctly. So I'm trying to hold it down so that it can dry up with the acrylic, and then I can apply acrylic over it. Which, if it sticks out, no worries, because once you file the nail, you'll file the piece sticking out right with it. By the time I got to the second hand, I was a bit more comfortable with the messed up brush, so the application was a little better and a little quicker. So you see me, probably this hand looks a little smoother, the acrylic, because now by this hand I've got more of a hang of the brush. So yeah, so now I'm just doing the same thing that I did on the other hand, applying glitter. And as you can see, not every nail has the same style. We were kind of just going for a whatever glitter pattern different stuff on each nail type of mermaid vibe. Okay, so for the index finger on this hand, the nail tip actually fell a couple of times, so I decided to just glue that tip on that finger and just go ahead and start with the rest of the fingers. So I did not file this one coffin before applying acrylic or doing the encapsulation, so you'll see me go ahead and shape the nail after I've applied the acrylic. So now I'm just going to be refiling with the file before I go ahead and go in with the electric drill, because I like to just file as much as I can before anything with the drill. That way, once you're done with the drill, you don't have to sit there for hours trying to shape things to the client's desired shape. I've already shaped it enough that once I'm done with the drill, it's like buff and go. If you need to turn the hand over comfortably, of course, for the client, you can go ahead and do that as well, like I am here, and just file that way just to make sure that you are filing straight and not, going towards a different direction or anything like that. So if you're like me, and I get a little conscious about that, so you can go ahead and turn around the hand and file that way, just to make sure that you're not filing crooked.
That was too funny. For real. We'll just stand by, right?
So now I'm going to be going in with the sanding bit on all 10 fingers, making sure that we're getting in the corners. So now I'm going to be going in with the fine drill bit and getting in really closely to the cuticle, because you want to make sure that you seal the cuticle area, because if you don't, you will get lifting. This getting as close as possible to the cuticle is vital for full set acrylics, because if not, all your work will be disrupted literally by the lifting that happens over time, which means you'll have more work to do when it's time for a fill. As you can see, this is actually the problematic finger, because it's the one where the acrylic just kept clumping up on, and that's the mountain that I ended up with. So you're gonna see me here try and bring this mountain down. The drill literally saved my life. It's so vital to make sure that when you can, you invest into, an affordable, but to be honest, a pretty good drill. You don't want to go too cheap on the drill if it's not functioning as it should with an acrylic full set, because this right here did a miracle for these nails. This stem was super bulky, like with acrylic. So I'm literally struggling here trying to bring everything down because it was just super bulky. So now I'm going ahead and drilling the other hand, and as you can see, there's a little piece of the little iridescent foil that I have in the nail that is sticking out, and I just go ahead and file it with the drill, and it smooths right out. Remember guys, making sure we're getting very close to that cuticle area so that we can seal correctly so that we don't have no lifting afterwards. And this is the finger that I did not shape coffin prior to applying acrylic, so I am going ahead and doing it now with the drill. It's a little hard obviously because the acrylic is there now, but it is possible. So once I was done drilling, honestly, I just had to literally stretch my hands because my hands were on fire. Like, one thing about doing nails is that if you haven't done it in a while, once you do a full set, like your hands are just like they hurt literally from holding the drill for so long and just filing, like. And I think it's just the stress of not doing a set in such a while and then just like trying to relax and get comfortable again. So I think that has to do with it too. And now I'm just going in with the file pretty quickly, just filing the sides and the tip of the nail to make sure that it is straight. And that is pretty much it. And then you're ready for the next step. So now I'm just going in with the file in the back of the nails and just filing the edges smoothly wherever there's any acrylic or maybe even glue that sometimes likes to creep in back there. And that's pretty much it. Now we're just going to be buffing all 10 fingers and getting ready for the next step, which is the diamonds and pearls and little flat stones. Okay guys, quick little disclaimer. So I will be using crazy glue to glue the diamonds and stones on the nail. I'll just be using a dotting tool and dipping it into the glue and picking up the diamond or the pearl with the dotting tool that has glue on it and adhering it to the nail. But my favorite tools to use is literally a crayon, but I misplaced it, so that's why I'm using the dotting tool for this video. And secondly, my favorite all-time favorite glue that I stand by is the Mia Secret nail glue. That thing is amazing. Like, the diamonds will not fall off. So if you guys are looking for a glue for diamonds, it's the Mia Secret nail glue, and it's bomb. If I can find exactly what it is, I'll put it in the description box down below.
said princess names? You didn't want it to look like princess. I like it because it looks like mermaid waves. You don't like it, Mommy? You don't like it? I don't know. It's like this. This has to be this little wave. What do you think? You like mermaid? Yeah. Mermaid scales? Mm-hmm. And then one more at the top, right? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Entonces, ¿qué quieres? ¿Una pelita aquí? ¿O no? ¿Sí o no? ¿Qué tú crees? No sé, ¿va una pelita ahí? Yeah. Entonces, ¿qué tú quieres? ¿Te quieres montarlo? Estoy cansada. Explota. This is what people want to see. This is what people want to see. ¿Tú querías esto o quieres que te saque estos diamantes? Si no te gustan, los saco. ¿No? Está bien. I like this. Okay, and then another one is going to prove these diamonds. Okay? Una perla. ¿Quieres una perla?
Guys, these diamonds that I'm putting on the thumbs, I'm telling you, they are so beautiful in person, and for them to be such an affordable price, like, I would say they're worth investing in. For if you're someone that does acrylic full sets and you do a lot of diamonds on nails, invest in these diamonds. You literally get like a little bag and you get all different sizes of diamonds, and they lasted me quite a while. Literally, with the Mia Secret glue, they will not fall off, and no matter how times they get wet, if you bang your hand on something or on a wall, like, they're pretty shiny. So I'm gonna find the link from Amazon where I ordered them from, and I'll leave it in the description box down below. Finally, my favorite part, the gel top coat. And guys, by the way, The nails do look a little thin. I don't like them to be that thin. I know that style, some people like that, but I prefer to have the nail just a little bit thicker, with a nice strong apex. But I did not want to keep applying so much acrylic because that brush was completely terrible. So it was not worth messing with acrylic like a lot in bigger amounts. So I just kept it nice and simple, and that's why they look a little thinner than the normal thickness of an acrylic full set.